How you feeling, boss?
Once Quiddier, Brandon, and Christian are settled, we will open up the floor to questions here. You guys good? All right, cool. Take one here in the middle. Then one up here in front.
For Quiddier, Tom Bruce, Sports Illustrated, Purdue. Hey, when we were talking to the High Point guys the other day about prepping for Purdue, they'd won 14 in a row, hadn't lost in 63 days, and you guys have only lost once since January. How much of just that constant winning gives you that sort of level of confidence that you guys can do this again no matter who you're playing?
I feel like the preparation is amazing because we didn't just start preparing after we went on a winning streak. We were preparing for this moment all summer. Like, I think that's what people don't realize, that this has been a moment that we've been preparing for when we all stepped on campus on June it was, or July, whatever. Whenever we stepped on that campus, we were preparing for this moment. So, it's normal to us. Of course we enjoy the moment, but this is something that we already plan to do. So it's a goal that we plan to achieve. So when that's the case, you just locked in on it.
Right here in front.
Matthew Travis, KPLC. Christian, for you, how do you guys move on from an emotional win like last night to now refocusing for another big opportunity tomorrow?
Well, I think our conference schedule kind of helps with that. We play with 1 day in between. Usually, for the last couple months, that's how we've been playing. We play a game, got a day off, and then play another game. And like you just said earlier, it was a good emotional win for us, but we know that wasn't the main goal. So we're right back to it.
Right here in back.
Jim Gazzolo, American Press. For Cope and Brandon, your coach is kind of on a revival tour of his career. You guys are kind of on a revival tour back in the NCAA tournament. What is it like for this, and what's it like to be back on the center stage?
Say I ain't never been on this stage. This is my first time, so I'll let B answer. He been here before.
Well, I mean, as I said before, just playing in a place like March Madness was just great, honestly. Especially like what Coach Wade, everything he's been doing the past couple of years, what a couple of the guys been through for the past couple of years. Just to get a win like that is just amazing, honestly. And then to be back on the center stage, and it's actually the biggest stage, is just great. It's what any player would want.
Thanks, guys. Right here, left middle.
Darian Carter, the Greenville News. For any of you guys, Coach Wade kind of said that you guys used a 2-3 against Clemson for the first time all season on Thursday. How often do you guys work on things that doesn't show up in games throughout the season?
I ain't gonna lie. We usually, I'll say it depends on the timing, but that was definitely something that we learned fast and we picked up on quick. But we also understood, we practiced on it a little bit in the past, but we didn't know when we was going to be able to use it. That Coach Wade does a lot of that. We work on a lot of things, and, we remember the preparation for it. We remember the adjustments and everything, but we just never know when he's going to pull the trick out the bag. So, and that was just the right moment, and as you guys can see, it worked.
Brandon, Christian, you're good on that? Okay. Front right.
Robbie Lasella, Bracketeer.org. Brandon, is there a certain trait that you notice or quality that this team has that led you guys to have success last night and this season that maybe you didn't have on some of your older last couple teams that didn't lead to success?
I can just say about this team and this program, honestly, it's just a grit. Honestly, playing in the Southland, doing this every week for the past couple months it's been gritty. You know how that league is. It's literally like physical and everything. So, honestly, just think playing games like that is just like you got us prepared, honestly. And I think that's just what's been going on for the past 2 years.
Front left here.
For any of you guys, Quiddier, for you first. Obviously, a tale of two halves yesterday. A lot of success in the first half, and then struggles towards the end of that second half. What can you take from that second half specifically and focus on today to try and improve for tomorrow?
I feel like just staying the course, never getting too high, never getting too low. And I feel like we actually did a good job at that. Like, we held a top 25 team to 13 points in the first half. Like, they were going to score. It was going to happen regardless. Like, so I feel like we did a good job of, sustaining. But I feel like it's just, the last 4 minutes and we work on 6-minute games all the time. So, that's what really frustrated us, that, the last 6 minutes of the game, they kind of came back in and, was hitting big shots. But we expected them to score. Like we know understand basketball and we get it. We expected them to go on a run and hit big shots. It was just about us staying consistent with our offense, and keep pressuring them on defense, making them think about a lot of stuff.
Yes, Twitter. I'm sorry, front left. Do you have the mic? Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of the second half, I guess what was Coach Wade's his attitude and demeanor with you guys in those final 6 minutes when Clemson was mounting the comeback?
Really, I was talking to B the whole time. I was telling B, just as long as we up by 20 with 8 minutes, I think we're going to be able to get the job done. Let's just keep the score up by 20 with 8 minutes. But when we got to the 6-minute game, we came into the huddle, and coaches told us this is something we've been working on all year. We practice this every day in practice, Just, stay the course. They're going to hit shots. But like you said, in those moments, you can't get too up. You can't get too down. You can't, you got to just stay together. That's all it is. And I feel like we did a good job at that. And that was one of the times when we struggled a little this season. When stuff get a little hard or adversity hit, sometimes we have our moments. But like that was the closest we stayed, and and it worked out for us.
Makes sense. Back.
You guys, yesterday was the first time in program history you beat a top 25 team. You guys have played in big games before. How comfortable were you in this situation? And Chu, for the bigger question is, how much did it mean having guys that have played against those guys and beaten them? How did that kind of change from last year when you played these teams?
I would say it was big for us having guys that's been in those situations before. Being I know for me personally, like being in that moment last year, it was just a lot. You don't know what to expect, and you kind of just try to get your feet wet a little bit before you know it, the game's already halfway through the first, and a lot of stuff's going on. And this year, we had a lot of experienced guys, and we just been having the same goal in mind since, like they said, the summer, and so we've been thinking about that for a long time. So getting to the moment this time, we were just prepared. We were more prepared. We were more mentally prepared, physically prepared, and we just wanted to win. And we knew we could. We knew we could the whole time. And like you said, we got tested earlier in the season against some tough teams, and it paid off because we learned a lot from those games, and we just applied it to the last one.
Thanks, Christian. Here in the back.
Matt Dye, Tailgate Kings, Shoe guys, Q, B, all the three of you. Yesterday against Clemson, like I said, you guys came out, kind of hit him in the mouth right off the jump. Kept that game physical. All right, Purdue's going to be another team of tall trees. How do you keep the physicality against Purdue, given that they know you're coming at them and they know who you are now? How do you keep that physicality? How do you hit them in the mouth? What are you going to do?
Got it. Big man.
Stop calling me.
Any three is fine.
Honestly, I think we just. Well, honestly, I just think we just gonna have the same game plan or anything like that, but I feel like we just gotta have the same swag that we played with before. Just be us, be ourselves, lock in, pay attention to the details, and just not really toning on like it's Purdue or just another opponent.
What's that here in the front?
Kind of going off that, Quadir, for you, I mean, they have two dynamic players, obviously, in Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer. For you guys as guards, what's kind of the game plan going up against a quick team like Purdue?
Pressure, I feel like Clemson had good guards also too, with Chase Hunter and my guy from Boston College. I forgot his name, but that's my guy. But I feel like it's the same thing. I don't feel like none of our team we looking at players or we looking at at the end of the day we put our shoes on, we put our jersey and shirts on all the same exact way. So. And I think people underestimate, the Southland a lot. That's a tough league. I played in the ACC too, so I understand both sides of it. You get prepared for moments like this because you're used to the physicality, you're used to to the intense battles, the arguments, all that. It makes these moments, all the lights being as bright, it makes the lights dim a little bit, So I feel like we way more than prepared because we know our goal, like I said. So. I don't think we look into all the stuff.
Thanks, Quadir. Right here in front again.
Tom Carroll, WEEI. For all three of you guys, shifting gears a little bit, one of the fun stories around your team has been your team manager getting all this notoriety, signing the NIL deal. How cool has that been for you guys to watch sort of his come up, if you will?
Nah, it's been great. Honestly, just seeing Amir just putting in the work and everything, honestly, just always being there in the early mornings with us, of course, just being there staying late at night, like, it's just fun to see somebody get an opportunity like that, honestly. Like, it's great. Like, we just all love, like, we just all love each other like that. Like, it's fun to see, though.
I also think what people don't understand is like when we're there and that's that first summer session and we there in June and July, them managers are there with us. Like Amir, Jake, Landry, Mitch, my man Jordan. Like all of them, they're there sacrificing their summer to be there with us. Like so, it's like it's a family thing. That's why I feel like everything plays a part. It all comes together. Cause like I said, we're sacrificing, but they're also sacrificing as well. So when we see them get the shine and the light too, and like I said, it's a mirror. He getting the most shine and light, but it's amazing to see. Like I said, he deserves it. The same way he loves us, we gonna show the same love back. He deserves it.
Awesome. Anything else on that? We're good? Okay. Any other questions for our guys up here? Take one back, right?
Does Amir have the song picked out for tomorrow yet? What are we hyping up for the game tomorrow? Do we know yet, or is it going to be a surprise?
No,
I don't think we know.
I don't think we know yet. We're going to figure it out, though.
Yeah.
All right, is that all? All right, we'll find out tomorrow then. Good luck, guys.
Yes,
Take care.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take this water too. I drunk out of it.
Coach Wade will join us here approximately 2:40. Once Coach Wade's settled, we will open up the floor to questions. Please use first, last name, and affiliation once you have the mic, please. Can start up here in front, if you can get a mic quick. Right, sorry, front left here, Coach.
Matthew Travis, KPLC. Coach, how quickly did you guys move on from the emotional last night's win to focusing on tomorrow?
Yeah, we got back to the hotel we finished up eating about 7. I let them go with their families. And then we got back together at 9:30 and did our normal, we have a normal 2-day prep. I mean, this is normal for us. You guys know who follow us. You know, we play, in our league, it's a little bit different. We play Saturday, Monday every week. So we have a 1-day prep. I mean, we've been doing this for 2 months. We pretty much have a routine that's worked for us pretty well throughout the course of the year. But I mean, this is pretty much our normal. This is our normal deal. So we went back, got into style of play, let the guys sleep in this morning, did some treatment, and we turned the page pretty quickly. We let them go out with some families and have dinner and that sort of thing. And then at 9:30 last night, we turned the page to Purdue.
Right here, Coach, front left.
Carter, Greenville News. Yesterday, you said the win ranked pretty high in your career, beating Clemson. Did it matter a little bit more because it was against your alma mater?
No, I mean, no. I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment and just say, "Oh, it's the best win of the." But I mean, it's close to one if it ain't one. But I mean, playing Clemson didn't have anything to do with it. Just being able to win a game for McNeese and win a game, for our people in Lake Charles and our 5-parish area. That's what was meaningful to me. Just that it happened to be against Clemson was, I guess, a cool storyline everybody can write about. But it's more about McNeese and winning for our folks.
Last Clemson question for me. Did any of your Clemson friends, I know your alumni, reach out to you, or even Coach Sweeney maybe reached out to the
No, Coach Sweeney hadn't reached out, but a bunch of my friends did. A bunch of the former players that I was there with have reached out, and so it was fun to talk with them. Some of them sent me texts before the game with their Clemson gear on and stuff. And I had one guy. I'm not gonna say which because I don't want to put him on blast. I had one guy I was really close with. He was rooting for us, so that was good. I had one. That was it.
Front right, Coach.
Robbie Listella, Bracketeer.org. Saw one interview where you mentioned wanting to help Amir advance his career in the sports industry, and then yesterday helping your players get in potential P5 opportunities. Having a culture where you want what's best long term for everyone on your team, does that kind of help keep the outside noise out right now?
I don't know if it helps keep the outside noise out, but I think all the guys know, we've got their best interests at heart. We're not trying to hold anybody back. And look, if we're the best situation for you, then by all means. But if we're not the best situation, then we'll help you go find a good situation. We want everybody to be successful. That's what we're supposed to be in this for, right? Now, the rules of engagement have changed a little bit, but instead of fighting it, I mean, we just we just embrace it and move forward. I mean, look, last year on our team we had 13 guys. 7 of them came back, and the other 6 were out of the other 6, 4 or 5 of them were out of eligibility, and we had one kid who wanted to come back, and I just said, look, you may want a red shirt, and he transferred and went to Queens and was the 6th man at Queens this year. Had a great year and lost in the ASUN championship. I mean, he texted me last night. His dad texted me last night. I mean, look, you're just honest with them, and you get, he went to Queens and had a great year. And it worked out perfectly. His brother actually plays for the Charlotte Hornets, so it worked out. They're in the same city. But just honest with them, and you want everybody to end up in a good place. And at the end of the day, that's the goal.
Right here, front left.
Could you talk a little bit about the zone yesterday, how that came about, and how you thought it went?
I thought it went well. We'd be called a bunch of idiots if it didn't work. So I'm glad it worked. But look, our guys did a good job with it. We'd worked on it some, and we were saving it for a big moment. We thought we were going to need it in the conference tournament, but we didn't. We didn't end up using it in the conference tournament. So we had saved it for here, and we didn't have any film on it because we hadn't played it. We played the 1-3-1. Whenever we played zone this year, we played that 1-3-1, but we hadn't played the 2-3. So it worked out well. But our players made it work.
Hello, Nicole. Right.
Yeah, Nicole Auerbach, NBC Sports. Well, Matt Painter was just talking about, like, in this era of college basketball, people go in the portal, but it doesn't always work, right? Like, the pieces might be there, but to get a team to play connected, how do you do that?
First off, Coach Painter's like one of the best coaches in the country, maybe the best coach in the country. So we have a ton of respect for him. And, I mean, look, you don't always know how it's going to fit together. Our team, I told our team this before the game, and I told them win, lose, or draw. Like, we were not very good early in the year. This team has grown quite a bit. Like, last year's team, it was smooth sailing. We had our best player, was our best leader, was our best kid, was our hardest worker. I've been doing this a while. That's like the second time in all my coaching career I've had that. When you get that, you have a special year. This year we haven't had that, and it was tough sledding. I mean, we were 5-5 at one point this year, and I don't even know what our record is now, but we've only lost, I think, once since then, or maybe twice. But so you don't always get it right, and we had to change some things because we weren't right early in the year. We just weren't right, and so I think the more you can dive into personalities and just have a better sense of what works. And so one thing that we try to do is, like, we know what works for us. We know what warts. Look, if they're at McNeese, there's I got warts, right? That's why if we're at McNeese, there's a reason we're all there, right? And so we know what fits and what can work for us, and so we understand what that is, and we're fine with that. And then we try to get them all to blend as best we can.
We're here in the middle, Coach.
Tom Bruce, Sports Illustrated, Purdue. Will, when I was getting ready for prepping for Thursday's game, talking to the High Point kids, they'd won 14 in a row, 63 days in a row without a loss. You guys have only lost once in 3 months. How much, from a confidence standpoint, regardless of who the opponent is, does all of that stack up with just winning and winning and winning and winning and not really knowing anything different?
I don't know, because I try to turn some of our wins into losses, just to keep our guys on edge. So we try to turn some of those into losses and make our guys feel like we lost, even though we won. Because you can't accept in winning what you wouldn't accept in losing. So the same mistakes you get furious at when you lose, you got to get furious at when you win too, or you're not going to have the team that you need. And so, I think winning's a byproduct of what you do and your preparation. And so I think that's the sort of stuff we lean on, is the structure of how to win, not really the winning part of it. Because the reality is, some of the games we've won not going to have any bearing on the Purdue game. Purdue's a different breed of cattle from what we've been winning for the most part on this sort of thing. So, it's not going to have the same bearing. But I do think you get some confidence from it.
Back middle, Coach.
Jim Gazzolo, American Press. Coach, you just mentioned you have warts. Some of your players have warts. How much is this validation?
I figured you'd pick up on that, Jim.
Is this? Thanks.
He's our beat writer, for those who don't know.
Is that?
And the host of our radio show, our award-winning radio show that 10 people listen to. Come on, Jim.
I didn't think we were bringing the show on the road. But how much of this is validation or redemption for you guys, or rehabilitation for you and some of the players?
Yeah, look, it's about our guys, man. It's about our guys and our school. It's not about me. I'm just fortunate that McNeese gave me the opportunity, and I'm happy for our guys to see. Like, I mean, Amir's. Somebody asked me about that. I mean, his life's changed. All these guys' lives are going to change because of the winning and because of everything that's gone on. And so, I'm very, very pleased for them. Our school is forever going to be changed because of this, and I'm very, very pleased for everybody at McNeese and our town and everything. I mean, some of the coolest stuff I got was some videos last night. I was going through my phone, responding to everybody last night, and we had just videos from all over town of restaurants. Eric from Visit Lake Charles sent me something from Buffalo Wild Wings, and I mean, just Mr. Bill. I mean, it was awesome to see all that. Like that was that was phenomenal. The police chief sent me some stuff from McNeese, and so just that sort of stuff's cool.
Middle left, Coach.
Hey, Coach. Kyle Hightower from the Associated Press. When you have the upset win and you had the defensive switch, and everybody kind of saw that and kind of scrutinized that how you guys won in the first round, do you just lead on basketball at this point and let your guys go out and play basketball? Or do you have any extra tricks up your sleeve? I mean, are you guys going to switch to southpaw or something in this game?
We're going to try. If you throw Matt Painter and Purdue, if you throw them fastballs the entire game, they're going to hit some grand slams. I mean, they're too good a staff, too good of players, too good a team. So, I mean, you've got to throw some change ups, some curves. So we got a few things, but I mean, look, we watched a bunch of film. It's a lot of stuff they've seen this year. I mean, they we just kind of have a greatest hits of some of the stuff that maybe's worked against them this year, but they'll be prepared. They're very, very well coached.
John
Fanta, Fox Sports. Well, I could sense from Christian the pride that he had in the journey that he's had. When you're recruiting guys that are coming from the portal, and you said it, they've all had a different journey or two. What's the impact? What was the impact of having him when you took the job in place? Why'd you guys connect instantly? And how do you blend all these personal agendas into one common thread, one common goal?
Yeah, so the first thing is, Shu transferred from Tulsa, but he was there under Coach Aiken, who was before me. Coach Aiken, those guys did a great job recruiting him. He actually went in the portal when I got the job. So he went in the portal, and I really didn't have any contact with him. I'm one of those guys, hey, if you don't want to be here, see ya. Like, we're not gonna beg anybody to be here. But he called me about a month later and was like, hey, I'd be interested in coming back. So we set up a Zoom. We did some of that, and he decided to come back. I think that's a credit to, just the school and the area. I mean, he is a celebrity in our town. There's billboards up of him all over town. I mean, he is a local, celebrity, and so he's just been tremendous, and having him come back, because he had just come off the Southland Conference tournament where he set like the all-time rebounding record in 3 games. He grabbed like 50 some odd rebounds in 3 games, or 40 some odd rebounds in 3 games. And so having him come back gave us a jolt locally, just because everybody knew him, as familiar with him. And I'd never met his parents or any of that. I did it all through Zoom, and I was under recruiting restrictions at the time. So after he decided to come back, I flew to Chicago. I had to get clearance to fly to Chicago, but since he was actually a player of ours, then I could go to Chicago, and I met his parents after the fact. We sat at a restaurant. His dad hugged me last night. He's like, man, we've come a long way from sitting at Jay Alexander's. I said, yeah, we have. But we sat there, and that was the first time I'd met him. That was the first time I'd met him in person, and for him to have belief in us meant a lot. And I think, look, what you said earlier, or what you're asking about, the key to any team is you got to get their selfish desires to fit into your team needs. If you try to fight their selfishness, and everybody's selfish, right? Everybody wants something out of something. You're asking a question. You want me to give you something or whatever. You're probably tweeting something out right now, whatever. Like, huh? Yeah, okay. But yeah, there you go. But my point is, you got to get if you try to fight their selfishness, you're never going to win. But if you can get what they want to do and get everybody on the team to understand how it fits within your team needs, then you got a chance to bring everything together. You know, as Louisiana, you put all the ingredients in the gumbo, you put it together, and you know, it tastes pretty good. But you know, we've got to get their selfish desires to fit into our team needs, and sometimes that takes longer than other times. But this team has figured that out. For instance, Christian's, you know, shooting numbers have gone down this year. He hadn't got as many shots because we've got more players. But we've talked about rebounds per minute, and you know, and so he's our selfish rebounder. And all of our guys know if Shu's around the ball and you're close to the ball, let him get the damn rebound, because that's where he's going to be selfish. Copeland's selfish with the assists. He overpasses. You know, he's selfish with the assist. Now, we got some other guys that are selfish shooting it, which is fine. We're all open about it. Everybody knows what they're doing. We've talked about it. And so you try to get all that and blend it together as best you can.
Thanks, Coach. Beck, right?
Coach, kind of coming off that, this season, or last season was magical. This season started with a loss to South Dakota State.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I know. I told earlier I wasn't going to
John's Field of 68 guys talked me into going up to South Dakota, playing in the Stanford Pentagon. And little did I know that South Dakota State was like, I'm not very good with geography, even though it was a history geography. I didn't realize Brookings, South Dakota was like an hour from there, and we played a road game, and then I found out afterwards they've won like 23 straight games at the Stanford Pentagon. So I got set up to go up there.
I don't claim them.
Smart.
So, Coach, coming off that.
And I ate during the game. What was the name of that steak? Some sort of chislet steak from up in South Dakota.
What kind of different grind has this season been, though? Like I said, last season you had the magical. This time you had to get all these different selfish players. You've talked about this team. One point at the SLC conference, Q talked about how you had to teach him how to win. You had to teach him how to be a winner. He knew how to play, but he didn't know how to win. Can you talk about just how this team has gelled over the course of the season? Because they've really felt like they've come together the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it started a couple months ago, and we've just spending time and just you keep chipping away at it. You keep chipping away at it. We haven't been a finished product, and now we're rounding into better form, and it's just a matter of just chipping away at it, and everybody, you know, being a little bit better with their defined roles.
All right, we're going to try and squeeze two more in here if we can, right here to the left.
Coach Ralph Russo from the Associated Press, if you don't mind me asking one question about Amir. He mentioned that he wanted to be an on-court coach, which, you know, 5'7" guy who rec league is his highest. That was a little surprising.
He's got a good rec league team.
So we've heard. So I'm just wondering, what do you think? What do you think is his future as a coach?
Yeah, I think. Look, he's certainly positioned himself where he can do it, and we're going to help him. I mean, he knows that. We've talked about that openly, and so we're gonna help him get started on his journey.
Right here in front.
You got the offense last night, despite DJ and Javon not having their best games. How big would it be for them to improve tomorrow?
I mean, we're going to need our shooters to make shots. Our three best shooters, DJ, who obviously is our best shooter, Garcia, Javon, who you mentioned, and then Charles. Joe was in foul trouble all night. I mean, we need those guys. I think they were 1 of 15 combined. We're not going to win tomorrow if they're 1 of 15 combined. We need those guys to make shots, and they've stepped up and made shots for us all year. So I don't think that'll be any different.
All right, we started a couple minutes late. If you can bear with me, Coach, I'm going to try and grab one from Zoom here. Patrick, if you can hear me, I'm going to allow you to talk. If you can get your question off, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I'm Patrick Waring from the NBS Sports Hour. I wanted to ask you a question about Vernon Hamilton on your staff. Obviously, you guys have been familiar with each other, but can you just talk about what he brings to the table and what he has done to help your program?
He's incredible. I mean, we went to college together. But he's incredible. He heads up all of our player development. Our guys have always gotten better. He was with me at LSU. I mean, he put in all the work with Brandon Murray, who played great last night for us, and so he's a phenomenal assistant. He's going to be a great head coach one day, sooner rather than later. And so I've got a great staff. Him and Coach Chambers and Coach Forrest. I mean, we got great people. You win with people, and Vern is just top notch and does a great job with recruiting and player development, and just huge for him. He's got tremendous relationships with the guys. The guys all trust him and go to him, and just love him to death. And like I said, we've known each other since college. He was a hell of a lot better player than I was, but He's a great dude.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
All right, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.